yeah, I'm okay with being a diversity hire. It's suited me well. I'm Kimberley St. Pierre. I'm a regional sales manager with CrowdStrike, which is a cybersecurity software company, and I support enterprise accounts here in Western Canada. I've been in technology for over 23 years now and in sales for almost 30 years. I grew up on a farm. I was very much a tomboy from the time I was a little girl, and I've always been used to navigating in very male-dominated environments. I think I've got an extremely competitive streak, which lent itself to being successful in cybersecurity, or quite frankly, even my previous career when I was in transportation and logistics, that was very male-dominated. So my sense of competition really, I felt, put me on a level playing field. I didn't consider me not being on a level playing field because I was a female. It wasn't until sort of later in my career, even in the tech space in general, not just cyber, that I realized that, oh geez, I'm not getting the same type of treatment that my male counterparts are, or I'm not spoken to the same. I was working for a company, and there was myself and 8 other men on the team that were doing the exact same job within a specific geographic region. And I was the top performer, and I found out that I was the lowest paid. I felt treated unfairly. I felt, why? Because I'm a woman, and then I stupidly blame myself. Well, I wasn't negotiating hard enough when I got the job. So I quit. I was recruited, so it's not like I just said, I'm fed up, see you later, goodbye, I quit. I was recruited, so it was a perfect opportunity. And at the end of the day, I left on very, very good terms, and that hiring manager will to this day still offer me a job. But just when things like that are brought to your attention and it's exposed, for me, walking out the door was the right thing to do. So it's been interesting, it's been challenging, but it's also been incredible. I feel very fortunate to be here, and I try not to let the fact that sometimes there's unfair treatment leave a stain on me. I've actually been called out. I've chaired a major cybersecurity event a number of years ago, and because I was chairing, I owned it. And we had a panel that was a manel. We had no females on it. And one of the very vocal, very brilliant female cybersecurity talents in the city that I know called us out on it. And I felt like a total idiot, but I'm glad she did. And we pivoted very quickly prior to the panel even starting and got a very senior, reputable, well-known female on the panel. That educated me, and I am embarrassed to say it because I am a woman, but we just didn't even think of it. So that educated me on, don't do that again, don't have manels. And what that required me to do is, when we were doing future events and we were inviting speakers for panels or just speakers for different conferences or events, to deliberately find females. And that exposed how few females I knew in cybersecurity, and the reality is there are not a lot, but it made me want to be that much more effective in getting to know who those women were. Often, I think being very transparent and very candid and very authentic helps build that relationships with allies, because if we come across as defensive and combative, it doesn't always set that situation up for success.
Have you ever experienced anyone saying, oh, she was a diversity hire?
Yes. And I'm okay with that. I think 2 things. The fact that there is a diversity play, that there is awareness that they want to create diversity and they've chosen a candidate. I have to imagine that the diversity hire, so say that was me, that on a scale of 1 to 10, that I was an 8 or a 9 out of a 10, that I wasn't a 3. I think if people are being hired simply because they're female or maybe a different background, that's the diversity hire, I think that's the wrong thing to do. I think the area for improvement from a diversity hire is when recruiters are going out to the market to find candidates, that they deliberately put a gender or background balanced panel in front of the hiring committee. I think there needs to be more onus on HR departments to do that. And the reality is for example, in cybersecurity, they are going to go to market, and for one role, they may find 2 qualified females and 8 qualified males. That's just the reality of a male-dominated industry. I think putting the resumes in front of the hiring team members without names on them, where it just says candidate 1 through 10, helps, because we all have our own biases, and sometimes we make decisions not really conscious that we've made that decision because of a bias. So yeah, I'm okay with being a diversity hire. It's suited me well.
That is such an awesome honest answer. Repeating that. And I've never heard the term mammal before.
Yeah.
So really, that's added to my vocabulary now.